Yeah, so thank you all. Yeah, I'm Alexis Hunzinger. I work at one of the other NASA DACs in Maryland, NASA Goddard Earth Sciences Data and Information Services Center. I'm also one of the NASA Openscapes mentors. So what I will say is I just pulled slides from other presentations that we've done to share what we do and what we offer for scientists and users. So this is definitely not only my work. We list a ton of names. You might recognize a few. I see Alex's name in there, as well as Sargent's. So ASF is also involved in Openscapes, and I think provides a pretty great model, especially for the managed Jupiter hubs. So who exactly is NASA Openscapes? It was built actually as a community of mentors who were in similar positions. So like I'm at one DAC, Sergeant and Alex are at another DAC. We don't always get to talk to each other, but this was a chance to get all of these different staff together who are trying to solve similar problems. In this case, it was that NASA was moving Earth data into the cloud, and we needed to learn how to teach our users how to access it and what their options are. So we were learning together. We were creating common tutorials together because, of course, very similar patterns are seen when you start to access data in the cloud. This included, once we were prepared with our materials, hosting cloud training events, not unlike this one. And at the same time, we were trying to practice open science ourselves. So kind of demonstrating by doing. So we would teach open science principles to folks, but we were using them the whole time as well, which I think is the best way to illustrate a concept, is that you see someone else doing it and putting it in practice. Again, at the bottom here is logos for all of the DACs involved, which I think at this point is every single one of the 12 NASA data archives. I will skip right past this pretty quickly because I think you all know. Again, the motivation was all this data is being put in a cloud archive that opens up some new ways for users to access data. So that was our task. We needed to learn about it. We needed to teach our users how to do it as well. So a bit about how we operate. Group of mentors to start. So a smaller group of folks that learn first, then go out and teach. And as I mentioned, taking more of an open science approach, this includes kind of creating a space for us to gather has been really important. Working together on problems and just setting aside time where we can work on it. And then most importantly, and I'm demonstrating this today, is reusing things that don't need to be rewritten. For example, some of these slides that introduce who we are, I didn't have to make a new one because someone already did it, and we'll update it if there's a change. But for some of this background, it hasn't changed at all. So that's what we're hoping to leave with the tutorials as well for accessing data in the cloud. And when we get into managed hubs, there's a lot of reuse to be had there that you can build upon from what others have built. So we're not just the mentors. We, again, teach workshops like this. We get together cohorts of teams that will stick with us for about 3 months. That's called a champions cohort. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a couple slides. And this is, again, trying to help build communities where you can rely on each other. There is so much knowledge in these groups of scientists. And again, you'll probably find that you run into similar problems. Maybe somebody else in that cohort that you were learning with figures something out and then can share with this group. And then if you guys publish it in an open source way, that can propagate, and other folks who've never even met you can get that problem solved as well. So community and relationships are also key in how we like to operate here at Openscapes. So when it comes to resources that we offer and some opportunities, these are the big ones, I would say. Actually, there it is. These are the big ones here. So on the left is more interactive programs. So I mentioned the Champions program. Just go to the next slide to give some more details. Typically what happens is we send out a call to teams of scientists and say, are you interested in moving your workflows to the cloud? We would love for you to join us for this 3-month cohort where we will go through different topics of what you need to know. I think a lot of them have already been taught in this workshop alone, but you get the benefit of spending a longer period of time together to really let concepts sink in, and then go back and work with your team in the off weeks when we're not meeting, and then come back and bring your problems back to see if we can solve them together. Benefits for this, we just talked about managed hubs. Alex brought up the Openscapes hub that's run by 2I2C. So you get access to that for about a year. You are included in the Slack channel where you can message others in your cohort. You can message folks, the mentors like myself, like other staff at ASF. And yeah, you just get to also communicate your needs as the user. So a lot of how we've developed kind of our current set of materials is seeing, hey, that didn't work for this specific case in a cohort. Can we improve on that so that, again, we can help other folks who run into the same problem? We love to see the success stories that come out of this. Often we share different champions' stories when we go present to demonstrate that learning was done here. Someone got their problem solved. Someone found a better way to perform their analysis, which is the whole point. That's why we're here to help you all. Typically, these cohorts happen in the spring. So look for a call, I'd say typically in February or March, when they start asking if teams would like to join. And as far as I know, this is free of cost. So if it's something that you'd be interested in committing your team to, I would recommend it. Self-explanatory on the bottom here, workshops and events. You're in a workshop right now, so congratulations, you made it this far. You're getting a ton of resources thrown at you, so again, it can be overwhelming, but as long as you have access to it, and I believe you'll probably be able to reach out to some of the staff who's teaching today, let them sink in and yeah, revisit material as needed. Then on the right here, this is more of resources that exist. It's not so interactive. It can be, and I'll tell you more about how it can be, but another resource, the NASA Earth Data Cloud Cookbook. Again, Alex just mentioned it in the previous presentation. This is where we've compiled all of the tutorials we've written that are specific to accessing and analyzing data in the cloud. It's always evolving. We're always adding things to it. If you are someone from the community and you have a cool tutorial or a new way of doing something that you've seen in another tutorial, you can contribute to it. It is just a GitHub repository, so you can make a pull request and or create an issue and let people know that you would like to contribute, and that is very much welcome. So it's there for you to gain from and also to contribute to as you'd like. I touched on the Jupyter Hub, and we also did as well. You can run code in Python, in R, and in some cases in MATLAB here. So again, access comes typically if you've joined a Champions cohort or if you've been working directly with a DAC. I know I have a couple folks, a couple users I work with who we've given an opportunity to work here to develop a bit of a use case in the cloud. And then finally, Earth access. This is probably The coolest, I think it's the coolest thing that's come out of Openscapes. This is a Python package that helps to obscure some of the kind of, I want to say dirty code, just the messy code, the things that are pretty technical where a typical scientist doesn't really need to know how to handle, let's say, authentication, or it's designed to take some code chunk that was maybe 30 lines and pare it down so it's only 5 lines of code. It really helps to get rid of some of the things that you don't really want to deal with if you just want to get your analysis done. And this was all developed, again, open source, contributions from a lot of different folks. So this is another place where if you want to contribute to it and you have something to add, it's all through GitHub as well. And I believe the rest of my slides just go more in depth, kind of spoke to all these points. So I think I'll just wrap up here so you guys have time to eat lunch. One more final point, I think, on the hubs. Questions might come up when you're thinking about cost. And that is something that is a work in progress. As we learn more about people's workflows and can maybe start to see how individuals who are part of our hubs, what they're accruing. I think up to this point, we've seen it more in a bulk sense. So we have big picture numbers, but it's harder to see what an individual incurred for a certain analysis. There's other resources. I'd invite you to have a look more at this slide. I think in our cookbook, we have a section on cost as well that can give you more information, just so you can get a ballpark when you're starting to plan if you're looking to work in AWS or have a managed hub. And I'll leave it there. Have a good time working in the cloud. I know it's overwhelming, but here's some important links if you want to go check it out. And I think, yeah, I speak for a lot of the NASA Openscapes mentors, but if you have any questions, please reach out. I think there's contact information on the Openscapes website. And thank you all. Wish you luck the rest of the workshop.